I'm just testing this, guys. I don't know if you can hear me because I can't see. Exit full screen. How about that? Well, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So maybe I have to do. You can hear? Oh, good. All right. You can hear me. Then let's just go through this then. I want to go point by point through the news on Nextbridge. And there's this little lag in downloading because my computer is older than your grandchildren. But it will pop up here. And I just want to go chronologically. My goal, I guess, is to enter into evidence, so to speak, some information before I have guests. You can hear me, but let me go back now. Let me go back here. Can you see this? Can you see the screen? Are you guys, well, you can see this screen, I'm sure. But can you see this screen? Can you see that screen? Probably not. Probably not. So I have to use this. All right, so we'll do it from here, but it's kind of annoying. And that's kind of annoying. So let me see if I can do view. Zoom in. This isn't very clear to me. Is it clear to you guys? The image is blurry. All right, can you see in here if I do it like this? Can you see this? It says I'm sharing this. So I'm going to read it this way. On December 20th, 2022, almost a year ago, Nextbridge announced that they distributed all the outstanding shares of Nextbridge by Meta Materials. It was completed on December 14th. There's a frequently asked questions, shareholders of record, 134 contiguous acres, forward-looking statements. Let's see what the frequently asked questions tell us. I think I'm sharing. Okay, let's go down to the next one. On December 27th, and again, you've got to just wait a second. I assume it says screen sharing, so I assume you're seeing it. I can't see your comments. So this is all testing on my part. The company announced on December 27th that Nextbridge entered into an agreement with Hudspeth Operating LLC, Wolfbone Investments, McCabe Petroleum, and Gregory McCabe, who is the sole owner of Wolfbone and MPC. Under terms of the merger agreement, certain properties owned by Wolfbone in the Oro Grande Basin will be assigned to Hudspeth in consideration of an issuance of 56,297,638 shares of the company's common stock. Nextbridge will increase its working interest and net revenue interest in the Oro Grande properties by 22.6% and 17% respectively. They also entered into a note for $20 million with McCabe. And then Clifton Du Bois stated, "We are excited to increase our leasehold position in our Oro Grande prospect and also secure additional capital for the development of our assets." All right. I'm just going to go through these chronologically. I'm sure other people have done this for you. What is this view tab? It's probably not going to be clear if I do it this way. Yeah, so I think it's better to do it this way. On January 23rd of this year, Nextbridge filed a Form S-1 with the SEC on a direct offering. They engaged Roth Capital Partners, and we've seen research from Roth Capital on Torchlight as the placement agent. The company describes itself as an energy company engaged in the acquisition, exploration, exploitation, and/or development of oil and natural gas properties in the United States. Our primary focus has been the development of interest in an oil and gas project consisting of 134 contiguous gross acres we hold in the Oro Grande Basin in West Texas, in Hudspeth County, Texas. All right, we'll go back. Okay, here's the statement they provided regarding their spinoff. I know where I can go see if this is working. I can look on YouTube. I think I can look on YouTube and see if this is working. Oh, it is. Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, it is. All right. Maybe not. Okay, so maybe you guys can see me. I can't see that I'm up here. All I can see is these documents. All right. Dated February 16th, Nextbridge Hydrocarbons, a private oil and gas exploration and production company, provided a summary. In connection with its spinoff on December 14th, 2022 from Meta Materials, and they had some inquiries that they wanted to address. Immediately after the spinoff, the company became an independent public reporting company, and the company's common stock is not and will not be publicly traded and will not be eligible for electronic transfer or counterfeiting through the depository trust company book entry system or any other established clearing corporation. Obviously, I added my own commentary. At the time of the spinoff, Meta distributed 165,472,241 common shares of the company's stock on a pro rata basis to holders of Meta Series A non-voting preferred stock. Each share of Meta's Series A non-voting preferred stock outstanding as of the close of business on December 12th, 2022, entitled its holder to receive 1 share of Nextbridge Hydrocarbons stock. At the time of the spinoff, the current executive officers of the company did not own any of Meta Series A non-voting preferred stock. There is currently no public market for our common stock, and there is no current expectation for a public market to develop. The transfer agent is American Stock Transfer and Trust. By registering shares of the common stock, we became subject to the reporting obligations under the Exchange Act. Now there, I see that's where I've been confused. They registered their shares of the common stock with, up here at the top, became an independent public reporting company. So they obligated themselves to report under the Exchange Act, which includes filing of an annual report on the 10K, quarterlies, and current reports. We recognize that some of our shareholders who owned Meta Series A non-voting preferred stock prior to the spinoff might have been affected by FINRA's halt of trading in that stock while the company was still a wholly owned and controlled subsidiary to Meta. The current board and officers have no information from FINRA regarding that halt, other than the information in the public notice published by FINRA announcing the halt. Further, FINRA did not provide any advance notice to the company, or to Meta for that matter, prior to initiating its trading halt. While we were not involved in the trading halt, we certainly empathize with anyone adversely affected by that halt and are assessing that matter. The company believes our primary means of delivering shareholder value is by developing our interests in the Oro Grande project. We remain focused on that objective. Okay, on February 27, 2023,
so if you're wondering when the IMAP 2000...
Sorry, I want to see what's showing out to you guys.
So if you're wondering when the IMAP 2000...
All right, it's showing with my ugly mug in the lower corner. I don't see it, so anyway, I have a big screen. It should show, but it doesn't. Okay, on February 27th, 2023, Nextbridge provided an operational update on Oro Grande Basin. The company announced that the company has successfully drilled 5 wells in the Oro Grande prospect, which, combined with the 5 wells drilled in 2021, confirmed the potential of at least 5 distinct reservoirs, oil reservoirs, the potential of 5 producing zones. Think of a layer cake, think of a wedding cake. 5 distinct reservoirs. In addition, the company has drilled its first wells in Block E of the Oro Grande prospect, which revealed hydrocarbon potential from an additional shallow zone. I believe they're referring to what is called the Hueco geologic timeframe. Commenting on the update, Clifton DuBose Jr. Oh my gosh, how can you comment on Nextbridge if you don't know the name of the CEO? Well, here he is. Clifton DuBose Jr., chairman and CEO, said, quote, "We are pleased to report the completion of 5 new wells in the Oro Grande prospect in advance of the March 31, 23 deadline under our university lands lease requirement. This is great news. They could have lost the lease if they had not drilled the wells required under the lease agreement. So that was great news. You know about it, but I'm just trying to review so people understand they have a valuable asset. The data collected from these 5 wells, and this is further commenting from Clifton Dubois, the data collected from these 5 wells, in addition to the 5 wells drilled in 2021, that's a total of 10, confirmed that there are at least 5 potential distinct oil and gas reservoirs under our acreage. Also, our operation team deployed a new mist drilling solution, which increased hole stability, which we believe will result in meaningful cost savings for additional wells drilled in the Oro Grande prospect. Further quoting from the CEO, while these 5 wells may have potential to produce hydrocarbons, which could be sold commercially in the future, we have no immediate plans to deploy the additional capital necessary to complete and sell production from these wells to third parties. Maybe they completed them. I'm assuming they didn't spend the money to complete. Instead, we plan to use the results from these wells as science for future wells, including reservoir locations, target depths, designated acreage in the Oro Grande prospect. The company also provided an update on the distribution of shares following the recent Nextbridge spinoff. American Stock Transfer notified the company that AST had at that time completed the distribution of shares of common stock to all brokers of record at the time of the spinoff. If the broker is not showing shares in your account, but of course they are, they don't let you know if it's counterfeit or not, you should call your broker. All right, let's go to the next one. May 16th, and this is, I think this one is very important to give you confidence in the value of your privately held asset. On May 16th, Nextbridge Hydrocarbons announced that Nextbridge has closed a transaction and plan of merger which became effective on April 25, 2023 and closed on May 11. As a result of the merger, Nextbridge now controls Wolfbone's 22.6249% remaining rights to working interests in the oil and gas project the company holds in the Oro Grande Basin. Nextbridge issued the 56 million shares to McCabe. The company also announced that it has entered into and closed the transactions described in 6 separate agreements to acquire the remaining 10.8751% interest in the Oro Grande project. And this is the important part right here. Nextbridge now operates. They control their own destiny, your destiny. Operates its entire land position in the Oro Grande project with 100% working interest across approximately 134,000 contiguous block acres. Now that 100% is certainly, they're obligated to pay 100% of the costs of drilling and all other costs, but their entitlement to the revenues is, I don't know, I'm going to guess right now, is as low, I'll say 87.5%. I don't know what the override is, but I'm going to guess it's an eighth. It could be as high as 20%. We'll find out. The company issued 56 million shares to McCabe, and then an additional 27 million shares to each of these other agreements. Commenting on the transaction, how can you take any information from William? He doesn't even know the name. He didn't even recognize the name of the CEO of Nextbridge. Well, here it is, Clifton DuBose. Quote, "We are pleased to have closed the Wolfbone merger while successfully negotiating agreements with the other 6 working interest owners in the Oro Grande project. The completion of all of these separate transactions to acquire the remaining working interest in the Oro Grande project marks a significant milestone for Nextbridge, as we now own 100% of our most valuable asset. Nextbridge will now fully control. In other words, they can't be spent out of their acreage. They can't lose this acreage. Unless, I guess there's some scenarios you could make up. But in general, they control their own destiny. Nextbridge will now fully control, that's your company, and reap 100% of the value and proceeds of the Oro Grande project once it is developed. We also note and appreciate the trust which Gregory McCabe and the other working interest owners have shown in our team to develop the Oro Grande project. Okay, let's go back. I just got tweeted something. I just read that to you. Let me just see what I'm being texted. Okay, I might have an update on Finger for you. Sorry, this is spinning. Okay, now this is I think a powerful endorsement of the team that is committed to creating value for you in your private investment. On June 21 of this year, Nextbridge announced the appointment of Greg McCabe as a director to the board and chairman of its board of directors. Clifton DuBose Jr., the current chairman and CEO, will remain on the board as a director and continue as the CEO. McCabe brings almost 40 years of experience to Nextbridge, and working with geologist Rich Masterson, was extremely active. Hang on, everyone. Hang on. Relax, everyone. Relax, everyone. Hello? No, nothing that I can see. I'm, if you ever want to go on, just let me know. Yeah, I'm just going over Nextbridge right now, but I can, whenever you. 11:30. All right. Okay. All right. Bye. All right. So Hamster's going to come on at 11:30. So let's kick some butt here in going over this. McCabe has worked with geologist Rich Masterson, and the two of them were extremely active in the early development of the Wolfbone play in the Delaware Basin portion of the Permian Basin. That needs to be restated. McCabe and Masterson were extremely active in the development of the Wolfbone play in the Delaware Basin portion of the Permian Basin. So this is your analog. This is your comp. When you buy a house on 4th Street, there might be a comparable house over on 5th Street you use as a pricing mechanism. Same thing happens in oil and gas. They have this terrible word. They call it closeology. I'm not sure that that would apply in this case because Texas is so big. But I showed you yesterday in dinosaur times, the shallow water that probably smelt like rotten eggs for eons as the oil theoretically collected across that basin. So this is very important. The experience and knowledge learned in the Wolfbone play helped the duo formulate theories and concepts regarding the Oro Grande Basin. In October 1984, McCabe formed McCabe Petroleum Corporation, which he still owns today. McCabe has active ownership in several entities: Mannix Royalty, Texas Rock Oil, and TROX. McCabe has a Bachelor of Science degree in geology. The CEO said, on behalf of the board of directors, I am delighted to welcome Greg and transition my role as chairman to his capable leadership. Adding someone of Greg's stature, one would have to go to a bowling alley to meet someone of your stature, Gloria, and experience to our board. And his experience to our board provides a significant vote of confidence. See that? A significant vote of confidence in our business model. All right, here I want you to see this. Nextbridge is an exciting and dynamic company. Clearly, Clifton and Nextbridge's leadership have positioned the company for significant and opportunistic growth. With McCabe's background and expertise from the Oro Grande Basin, I look forward to participating in that process while supporting the continued success of Nextbridge for its stakeholders. I think we're almost done. We've only got 3 more, and then we'll get ready for the hamster. Okay. Nextbridge announces filing of registration form to benefit existing shareholders. Okay. I think this was the deal that McCabe did. Let's read this quickly. Nextbridge announced today that the company has filed a registration form S1 with the SEC related to its distribution by Nextbridge of non-transferable subscription rights to receive at no cost shares of common stock of a new subsidiary to be formed in the future, NBH Newco. These will be distributed to eligible stockholders of Nextbridge. In order to be eligible, the holder must register their Nextbridge common stock directly with AST prior to the close of business on the 60th day after this Form S1 becomes effective. And then you must stay there for 6 months thereafter. Under the terms of the agreement, McCabe will be contributing a portion of his 10% back-end interest in the Oro Grande prospect to Nextbridge. And McCabe Petroleum is contributing to Nextbridge a portion of its interest in oil and gas leases, which constitute a drilling prospect located over 1,150 acres in the Vermilion Parish Bronco prospect in Louisiana. Okay, let's not get lost in this. Let's read his comment. McCabe said, since taking over as chairman of the board of Nextbridge, I have had the opportunity to review the efforts by the Nextbridge management team to pursue a short-term trading window and to request that the financial industry, FINRA, require all individuals and entities holding short position in Nextbridge's common stock to be forced to close those positions. The efforts by Nextbridge were thorough, rigorous, and quite compelling. Unfortunately, FINRA did not find that FINRA had the authority to issue a corporate action requiring all short positions to be closed if a trading period was to occur. While this decision may be disappointing to some of our shareholders, Nextbridge accepts the authority of FINRA on this matter and is going to move forward with the business of running our company. In an effort to give Nextbridge and its shareholders the best chance for success, I have made the decision to assign proportionately my 10% working interest back in after payout in the Oro Grande project and my interest in the Bronco project, Vermilion Parish, Louisiana, for the benefit of all shareholders who move or have already moved their Nextbridge shares to AST. I strongly believe that having all shares of Nextbridge at AST will provide significant value to the corporate governance and communications with Nextbridge shareholders. I have personally begun the process of moving all my shares to AST. The CEO. Okay, let's skip that. Sorry for muddling my words. I'm distracted by a text message I got, and I want to find out what's going on. But let's just get through this first. Okay, on July 26, Nextbridge provides frequently asked questions. When is the deadline? Here's the most important thing. Once the registration statement is declared effective, you will have 60 days. So there's plenty of time to do this. Your broker may also instruct AST to return the physical stock certificate to you, and you will be required to mail the physical stock certificate, a letter of instruction, and a stock power. Don't sign the certificate, sign a stock power, which contains a medallion signature guarantee. That's almost like I don't know, maybe it's a notary now, but it used to be a stamp, and there were only certain people at the brokerage firm that could give that signature. Okay. We recommend that you maintain your shares in book entry form to minimize the risk of certificates being lost or stolen. If your shares are currently being held in the name of a custodian for a retirement account, such shares may be eligible to receive the subscription right if all other conditions of eligibility are met. You may be required to remove the NBH shares from the retirement account. That's interesting. We'll have to go into that later. I want to move on before HAM comes on. Nextbridge has 500,000 authorized shares. As of July 1, it was 248,830,516 issued and outstanding. Now, this is not dilution. They already said that they acquired those other interests, so it's actually accretive. This is good news. Nextbridge announced that Metamaterials and Gregory McCabe entered into a loan sale agreement where Mr. McCabe purchased from Meta the 8% secured promissory note dated September 21, originally issued by the company, Nextbridge, in favor of Meta. And certain loans made to the company by Meta pursuant to the loan agreement, also dated, also September, but 2022. As a result of the loan purchase, Mr. McCabe replaced Meta as the lender and secured party under the loan documents. This is good news for Meta. That was good news for Meta. Additionally, as part of the loan purchase, Meta assigned to Mr. McCabe its lien on 25% of the Oro Grande prospect. The company's obligations and responsibilities under the loan documents remain unchanged. Mr. McCabe is the company's largest shareholder and the chairman of the board. Mr. McCabe holds a 5% unsecured note for the principal amount of up to $20 million issued by Nextbridge. Mr. McCabe said, quote, "The company's management team has been working hard to find financing solutions for the short-term and long-term capital needs of Nextbridge. I was pleased to be able to purchase the debt of Nextbridge from Metamaterials. I believe in this management team and the long-term upside in the company and its assets." So this is a huge statement of confidence by the largest shareholder that Nextbridge is valuable, both now and in the future. The CEO said, "This is a great development for our company and further enhances our capacity and flexibility to source capital in the future. It will continue to strengthen near-term opportunities and the long-term outlook for the company." All right, now I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to mute this. I'm muting this while I set up. being heard. Now I'm being heard. I stepped away to make a call regarding finger motion. And, you know, unfortunately, what's hard to know, you know, you can't predict. You can't predict if and when something's going to happen, but it all sounds like there's forward movement. And it sounds like something's going to happen. Can you guys hear me? I know there's a delay. I got to make sure that you can. I got to make sure you can hear Ham when he comes on. No response. Okay, sounds good. Great. All right, I'm going to call Ham.
William, you there?
I'm here.
Can you hear me clear?
I can hear you clearly.
Hold on, let me merge everybody in. Hold on.
And
All right, everyone. Again, here with William. Today is Wednesday at 11:30 Eastern Time. Again, this is not to buy or sell. This is information that we believe to be factual, and we're just reporting it back to you and our thoughts on security fraud, making short selling security fraud to focus on it. All right.
is everything the same pattern? One guy's asking.
No, it's changed. Let me know when it changes. These guys have only one plan. It's the same stupid thing every day. I hopefully everyone understands it by now. I think everyone does. All right, so I'm going to just start by, I came home last night and I watched The Big Short again. And after watching it and listening, everything in that movie, just change it from the bond market to the equity market. It's exactly the same thing. Michael Burry, I'm in, I'm right, I know I'm early, and this is what it is. Everyone else that was around them, who started making the same bets, all said the same thing. The system is completely fraudulent. What's going on from the credit agencies to the broker dealers? In the end, the whole system collapsed. They made billions of dollars, and they were right. The brokerage industry, everything is fraud. We see the same patterns that they can short selling. All right? It's taken a little longer than we all want it to be. Trust me, I'm with you. But it's exactly the same pattern. If you watch the show, and I advise you, if you do on the stock, go look at it. Don't look at Dumb Money, all that. I didn't see that movie. But The Big Short is exactly what's going on here. Just changing from the bond market to the equity market. All right? And it's the same pattern. Okay, the system is completely fraudulent. They're protecting the crooks. They're protecting themselves. But in the end, the whole thing collapsed. All right? Firms went out of business. You name it, it happened. The same is going to happen here. I've been pointing out that Jefferies is the prime broker for Lynn Partners. It's in their filings. When Lynn goes belly up, the losses are going to go to Jefferies. Jefferies is going to disappear like Credit Suisse. Jefferies is a brokerage firm of what? It's just, no one's doing commission business anymore. All they're trying to do is deals. And again, when you take your hit, they have to do 100 deals to cover the losses that they're going to incur due to security fraud on making short selling. So again, please go see it. You can rent it. You can get it for free on most cable networks. I think I got it on Netflix last night. And I sat down and watched it. Don't ask me why, but I just sat down and watched it. But I've seen it 4 or 5 times. But again, to look at it from the point of view that we all have about making short selling, it's the same patterns. All right, now we're going to go back to things that are more things that you want to hear about. I learned a lot from the legal side on how to expose and trap unregistered toxic lenders. I'm hearing that the Kramers and their crew in Long Island have some serious problems, and that they believe there's law enforcement that's on their tail. All right, they're hearing it through the grapevine. I can't confirm it, but I'm telling you what I'm hearing, and I believe that. All right, I know, like you said, I brought the gentleman on that went to the FBI also. Again, these are guys that have been operating for a long time. We all said the same thing. If you stole 20 million, 50 million, how big a stake do you want? These are people like Bonnie and Clyde. They don't care. They just want to keep stealing. They're doing it for sport. They think who they are. Well, law enforcement is going to get them. I put the story about the guys from, what's his name, from that crypto exchange. His girlfriend in court is now turned and is ratting him out, saying he instructed her to commit these crimes. Well, I'm sure the Kramers have a bunch of rats in their organization that eventually give up the Kramers. Because if you go, when you're faced in jail for life for a long time, you're going to start giving up people. Lynn Partners, I'm sure the CFO, and William, I can't remember the other lady, whatever her position is.
Sam Chung and Hailey Kim.
Right. Those two girls are going to give up they're going to give up Lynn Partners. And as soon as someone knocks on their door, they'll be the first guys. Just change the headline from yesterday's in the New York Post, where that girl said that, what's his name? Stan Fried, whatever his name is. He instructed to do the crimes. They're all going to say the same thing. And they're going to pass it up with Lynn and the guy, whatever that French.
Didn't we learn that when we were kids? If someone told you to jump off the bridge, would you?
Yes, we did. But I think that the unraveling of these criminals will be their own people ratting each other out. All right, that's happening. I believe that's going to happen. So I told you, I see the toughest guys in the world when facing jail time. It's him. They all start pointing the finger. Get away from me. Most likely to be a turncoat in the Kramer organization is Charlie Mayo. We know he's been a stooge, and he'll point out and give up the Kramers and GTII. And Lynn Partners, I think it's the two women, they will eventually give up the other two characters. All right, they'll give up the money trail, and the whole thing will start to unravel. That's what I learned yesterday. I learned more information on how to attack unregistered toxic lenders. I won't give up all the gory details, but there is a plan in place to expose Lynn, the Kramers, all these unregistered toxic lenders. You know, the Kramers opened up a bunch of new LLCs in Virginia trying to get away from usury fraud thing. That's in New York City. But they're still operating at a Long Island, so that whole thing of moving to a different state was not going to hold the water in any court. All right, so they're still located, operating at Long Island, and that is their jurisdiction. They can sit there and say what they want, but everybody knows they're still operating at Long Island, and they're not out of Virginia. They have nothing, anything they pass through Virginia. All right, so we know the Kramers are basically the lowest form that you can get of this crime. So these guys, I expect them to get tracked by some very smart attorneys. All right, so, and those attorneys went on record yesterday with the movie and filmed the movie and giving up a lot of good details that you will see that will expose the network, all these criminals, which was outstanding. I met a young man who was an MMTL holder. He made money in GameStop. He made money in AMC. He got into MMTLP, and he's a fighter. Again, he's great. I tried to get him into the production. I don't know. I left, so I don't know what time. If they had enough time, I don't know the gentleman, but I basically told him, and this is the most important thing, to everybody on this call, including William. When you buy stock, where does it say you get a helmet, a gun, and gotta go dig a foxhole to defend it? Apple Computer, Berkshire Hathaway, the shareholders are not here fighting short sellers with sticks in the street. They're worried about the company's fundamentals and their growth and all this stuff. We have to fight criminals manipulating the stock 24/7. Since when did that become part of the equity markets? And that's what I wanted him to express. Because he feels like he just got thrown into a fight that he didn't look for. And now he's working 24 hours a day, fighting to get back his funds, to get an answer from the regulators. What happened to his money in MMTOP? I believe he said he owned finger motion, him and his friends. And they go on Twitter and they fight every day. And it's amazing that people have joined the fight. And it's just amazing that we have to do this nonsense. Where is the SEC? We have to fight to have someone stop manipulating our stock every day. You can't settle a trade. The rules are slanted. And that's what's going to come across in this movie. Very different from the GameStop and all the other stuff that you see out there. Right? I discussed with a group of people yesterday. 100% GameStop was not a retail short squeeze. That was hedge funds and institutions squeezing another short to death. And that was Berlin Capital and whoever else was around them. That was not a retail investment short squeeze. Finger motion is a retail investment short squeeze that is now moving into institutional buyers in here. So the other one was all institutional with a sprinkle of retail. Finger motion is 98% retail, and now it's starting to drift towards institutional ownership. The gentleman on William's call yesterday with me told me his friend is a very, very, very famous money manager, has initiated a position in finger motion, and has opened the door for me to go sit down with him, and hopefully I can get him to increase his position, tenfold. So, I mean, these things are easy to spot. When explained to the right people, everyone gets it. When you have the information about the whole crime, it's an easy story to tell. I told you before, the shorts cannot beat the world. They can try, but all the information that's coming out, William, the borrow rate, the short interest rates, everything's going up. They can't even knock it down. They're trying to hold it down, but they can't knock it down. Remember, selling it low gets them less money. They have to sell more shares. They have flooded the market every avenue they can. Okay, the SEC, I believe, is clamping down on this thing. The stock tells me law enforcement, something is around this thing. There's some fringe players still manipulating it, but for the most part, it has disappeared. Someone has been served, a back office, somebody in the network has received some sort of subpoena of something is going on. For those who say you're crazy, well, I watched this stock for years. This is completely different from the assaults, from the fake story the other day. The stock has a different look now after it bounced back up. That was their final charge, if you ask me. They can still be alive, don't get me wrong, I don't know. But again, everything they do now is well documented. I believe law enforcement is here. I think the truck, Mark Falk said that when he was at the SEC, he said the truck was brutal. And he's not a stock market people. Him and his 6-man crew all said the same thing to me yesterday. That truck was brutal. How do those people go to work every day and not do anything to stop this crime? And we all said the same thing. 100% they're going to stop the crime because you can't have that continue. All right? So, again, a lot of good things are happening. Again, I'm not Univest, so you can't ask me about that. The companies in a quiet period due to their earnings. Some people say the earnings are coming out Friday. I'm not sure about that. I'm not really an expert on that. When it comes out, it comes out. If you look at the CEO's last interview on the New York Stock Exchange, he'll give you a brief summary on what to expect on his earnings, and to me, it was very positive. So I expect that we'll have good numbers on Friday. Is that the dagger? I think it's a dagger that the SEC cannot go around anymore. They can't say, "Oh, this is a small company. Come on, this is a company not doing business. This is a company with business that's funded, that's being attacked." And I think that the SEC has a tough time to go around that now. Wait, do you have any questions? Because otherwise, it gives me a clear head to figure out what the hell I missed.
Is it all the same pattern?
No, it's different. The pattern is different. Wake up. The pattern is different. Someone is choking the short behind the scenes. Something is going on. We're standing here for 3 minutes at 70 to 73, 500 by 200 shares, and it's not even trading. The other day, they were moving the market so fast, you didn't know what was going on in the stock. But all of a sudden, all that activity has come to a standstill. Why? Someone is looking, someone in the back office this is how I think it's going to end. Someone in the back office has been served and wants information on finger motion, on who's selling it. And that sends the message to the street, hey, someone's looking here, someone's looking here, someone's looking here. And the word gets back to the bad guys, and now the bad guys have a problem. They're getting the tip-off from the back office on Wall Street. And for those who don't understand that, that's how Wall Street works. I'm sitting in the back office, I get a subpoena. I want to see who's selling the stock. Maybe it's Canaccord. Who's selling the stock? You sit there and you say, I gotta reply in writing about who's selling the stock. Sure. You get up, you yell, I gotta go to the bathroom, you run down the block to a payphone, and you start calling your friends and say, hey, you better stop, you better move away from this thing because they're coming. That's how it happens. The next thing that you normally see after that is you're going to start seeing someone trying to step in here, trying to cover. And what did we hear? That someone wants to buy a big position above the market. It's funny how the stock pattern has changed after the short story. And now we see this feeling of law enforcement and someone looking to buy a big position. Someone looking to cover. Those to me are signs where there's smoke, there is fire. All right, so again, I've been meeting people one at a time, telling them the story. After they speak with me, I tell them to do their homework. They all call back and they start to initiate a position. And for the dummies that ask one more time, how come people that are billionaires do not go out and push the stock higher so it can make me happy? They do not give a shit about you. People, big players, buy positions every day. You say, well, man, I'm buying a lot of stock. Well, you buy 25,000 shares a day. That's 125,000 a week. That's 500,000 a month. The position goes up quickly doing that. And they know if the stock takes off, they can always go pay $10 for it because they have the money. But they accumulate it like that. You say, well, how do you know that? Because I did those orders for people. They just don't go say, hurry up, go buy me $8.6 billion at the market so I can mark it up so Tony can get so my friend can make a quarter on his stock position. Or maybe his options can go up and he can get out. They don't think like that. So stop asking that question. It's the dumbest question in creation. Smart people accumulate. That's why I say the word accumulate. That's how they think. Maniacs buy stocks in the market. Now there's that people. There are those people too. There was a guy named Rich. I forget he was called the Mad Bomb or Richie Hebner. I think that was his name. Richie Hebner. Back in the day, when he got into a stock, he'd go out and buy millions of shares at the market and destroy stocks on the upside. When he got into a stock, that's what he did. And his name was Richard Seager, I think his name was. And that's what he did. There were very few of those people. Those people were silent, accumulated, and then they just kept accumulating, and then the stocks would rip, and they would have positions, major positions, and you wouldn't even know they were in it. So if the people think that someone's here is going to come and move the stock up to make you happy, you're in the wrong game, because there's no one doing that. All right, that's a very rare occurrence. When you get a news event, maybe the company finds a cure for cancer, everyone runs at the same time, that's a different story. But a name like this that's building to an eruption, okay, it's a slow, steady build. The volatility starts to come out of the stock after the attack, and that's what I've seen now. The volatility has come out of the stock, and where's the short going? They borrowed as many shares as possible. So they're paying a lot of money to borrow it. The borrow rate, okay, that changes every day, every few minutes it's changing. Whatever that rate is, multiply it times 3, because the brokerage firm that's paying you is making 3 times the amount of what you see. They're not in the business of paying you to borrow stock unless they're getting paid a lot more. All right, so what's there, and just multiply it times 3, because they're in the business of making money and not in the business of paying you. Hey, we have someone that wants to pay you $100 a month for your stock. Oh yeah, what are you making? Oh, I can't tell you that. They're making a fortune from it. That's how that game is played. You got anything?
Well, one gentleman is pointing out that TD Ameritrade sent out an alert this morning to everyone that Fingers earnings will post tomorrow prior to market open, if they're correct. I can also tell you that I watched 48 Hours last night. So Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy.
Oh, the movie. I thought it was a TV show.
No, it's, I don't know if you remember.
Watch The Big Short, everyone. It is, I forget the gentleman from, I forget his name. The actor, I can't, not the guy who played Michael Burry, the other one.
Oh, the guy that was the 40-year-old.
Steve Carell.
Yeah.
He was walking around, couldn't believe the fraud, the rating agencies, the brokers not marking their positions. They were shorting the positions to their own client before they downgraded everything. I mean, that was complete fraud. And he was so distraught. I don't know the gentleman, but he was so distraught about how crooked the street is. That's what you're watching here. Just think about the equity market. It's completely fraudulent. Just to steal pension money. Everybody's money getting robbed. The Wall Street Journal reported didn't want us to do a story about what these guys uncovered because he didn't want to ruin his relationship with Wall Street. Look at the stuff the guy from Forbes wrote. Making short selling is make believe. The next day someone got busted for it. He wrote the story as though we're fools. Who told him to write that story? There's no idiot would write that story unless he's being pointed to it for a reason. Who writes these stories, these short stories, these attacks? They plan these attacks. Someone's paying for that stuff. Someone, whatever that Carabara research, he didn't wake up and said, oh, he writes a story about finger motion.
Well, and in that research, they accuse people of being paid to promote. You don't think that was written for money, do you? I mean, they didn't do it for free.
Listen, who would sit there and waste their time? There's a million stories that we could write about. How the military stocks are going up because the wars begin, the bullets, they need bullets and ammo. All right? If you want to look at a story, did those military stocks move before the attacks happened? I didn't have time to go study it. But that sometimes people know. They start buying the military stocks before the bullets start flying. All right? So I didn't go back and look at those things, but I'm sure there's some fingerprints of people buying options and dirty money slipping into there. You know, maybe the Israelis didn't know about it, but the Hamas had people in the equity markets taking advantage of what they knew was going to happen to the upside on the military stocks. I think General Dynamics or Lockheed Martin, they were up $30, $40. You know, and that's, you know, these guys look at those, that's how they profit from this stuff. So there are terrorists that are in the equity markets. The U.S. government knows about it. We saw it in 9/11 with the airline stocks. These guys bet against the airline stocks using options. 2 days before, unusual option activity in United Airlines. So these guys that we're dealing with, whether it's the Kramers or Lynn Partners, until the SEC proves us wrong, I have to believe that both of these parties have ties to offshore terrorists. Maybe they're being held hostage and being forced to do it by terrorists. I don't know. But whoever's doing this thing has ties to offshore, cartels, or whatever you want to call it. One person thinks that they think it's a money laundering operation, offshore drug dealers and illegal operations to short the stocks and move money around the world, because once you short it, you're creating a paper trail, and it actually shows where you made your money. So if you wanted to launder money, you can short a stock, get a paper trail. When you close out your position, you actually show that you have a stock transaction. So if anyone says, hey, how do you make your $1 billion off in the market? You know, they're not risking their money. They're diluting it, but it shows it's still a paper trail, and they pay whatever they have to. They pay taxes on it, but they can show people to do that. That's another way to look at this crime. You know, the Kramers and Lynn Partners, money laundering for people around the globe. Who knows? Someone's got to follow it and sell tickets and the wire transfers. You know, where does the money go? How does everyone get paid in this whole crime? They're not walking around with bags of cash, that's for sure. All right, so there's a lot of wiring of money going around here. All right, so we know the Kramers are wiring it from wherever to Long Island. That's where their banks are, right? Everybody out there knows their banks and who they're doing their business with. All right, so we learned a lot of good things yesterday about the criminals. All right, so people are on it behind the scenes. We get plenty of information that we can't share every day with everybody, but there's a lot of information by good people being put together by 10 or 15 lawyers, West Christian's law firm. They're following the paper trails, presenting the information to law enforcement. You know, West Christian's got great ties to FBI, to DOJ. I'm sure Mark Brazil's got some good connections with the Long Island FBI chapter and wherever else he knows in the Southern District. All right, so everyone is, when you start speaking about people all the time, it's just a matter of time before they get exposed. Anyway, what it did.
Do you, if you're in front of your computer, Ocean Sailing is pointing out that Tom is up over 1,000%. Cancer, liver, positive results. Anyway, she's pointing out that squeezes do happen.
Yes, 24 cents. And now today it's $3.88. It was 24 cents.
Yeah, it's positive results on a.
No, short that stock. Who cares? Kill the people. The 24-cent stock, how could that have a positive information about cancer? That's impossible. Only Merck or Pfizer can save your life, not Tempest Therapeutics.
Well, and just imagine how difficult it's been for them to raise money.
Yep, and I guarantee you, I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure that they're going to raise money today because there's some thieves and scoundrels are short, and they're begging the company, and they're going to do a $30 million raise today, cover the shorts, and the stock will just drift back down because once they start covering the shorts, instead of buying in the open market, this is how they try to weasel out of these things. And the company probably needs the money, and you can't blame them because they're trying to save people's lives. How's the stock that trades $400,000 a day, the 90-day average, trade 124,000. Hurry up, Bill. The stock that we paid 25 cents for, they have positive information about saving your life in cancer. Well, a company like this should be worth $500 a share, not $3.84. So everyone who was long it, sold it today. Now what happens? Because you tell me the trading and it doesn't even make any sense. But that's Wall Street for you. So anyone looking at this volume, it's all nonsense. Because people who own the stock own it for a reason, because they know that the company's working on some cure for cancer, and they're going to rush to sell it because the stock's at $3. A stock that works on that type of disease is worth $300. Why am I selling it at $3? Because someone's flooding the market in it, saying, and they won't let the stock go up anymore. And you're sitting there saying, well, this company should be worth $300,000. How can it not even go up?
They halted trading, apparently.
Yeah. That's the game.
There's trouble there. A lot of people are asking, I'll ask it this way. Could GTII now go first? Are we waiting on earnings on Finger before it could go? You've got two different catalysts. One with GTII is the dividend. Maybe the catalyst is with Finger earnings. I don't know, just your comments.
How many people asking?
On GTII, it's probably 50, I'd say a dozen people asking. On the earnings, it was one person.
When you get to 13, I'll answer it.
All right.
Listen, I just followed the tape. Big emotions looked to me like it wanted to go all of a sudden, and GTI be second. GTI can stop on a dime and go first. Look at TPST. No one knew about it. It was 24 cents. Today it's $4. That's how fast it changes. And I'm telling you, in big emotion, the track is 100 times worse, because in GTI we have no real short position. In big emotion, we have a real short of about 3 million shares that's been screaming and borrowing like crazy. I have to short this thing. They're naked shorting it, borrowing shares to short it. They're throwing everything they can to hold it down. And to me, that means the fuse is lit. Right? Because now everyone can see the information that they always try to keep secret. Because when we post that there's naked short of 180 million shares, people always say, how do you know they didn't cover? Well, it's been 571 to 575 for 15 minutes or whatever, how long we've been on, 30 minutes. It's traded 240,000 shares. Let me know when it's 180 million shares. Tell me when that happens. So you know they don't cover. You can see it yourself. You don't need me to tell you. Just look at the volume. It's impossible.
Wow.
But again, GTI can go at any time. I think the dividend, I've always told you, a special dividend is a magic word.
TPST, it's traded 124 million shares. It has a 13 million share float. I'm sure it's totally normal. The SEC shouldn't look into it. No reason to be curious.
Everyone who owns the stock sold it 10 times already.
Yeah, I think over at that glass windowed building, they should, no curiosity. Just check out cryptocurrency. Don't look at what.
Look at the Big Short. One of the kids in the movie, I know there's some girl, she worked at the SEC, and she said, since they made budget cuts, we don't really investigate anything. He said, what are you doing here in Las Vegas? And she waves her hand. Oh, that's my friend. He works at Goldman. She goes, I'm trying to get a job working for a big brokerage firm. That's what they all do. All the good talent leaves. They go to the SEC, and then they leave to go someplace else. And that's what's happened at FINRA. The people that work at FINRA are heard before from an attorney. The people that do the cases for him, the turnover is crazy. And they keep hiring new people, and they have to, as lawyers, when you represent a company like XYZ, you usually file with the same person or talk to the same person handling that company. but the turnover's been so great. They said they get different people all the time. So, I mean, there's chaos among the agencies. So, and you can't blame it. If you got the job at the agency, you're here to try to make money for you and your family. You want to get out. Some people join the agency because they want to be good people. But once they start they see their friends making a fortune when they leave. And the American dream goes out the window. I want to be protect people that's already gone. And working at the STC or FINRA is just eating the cookie cutter. It should be a good job, a good paying job. But people these are the rules. You break that rule, you're done. End the conversation. There's no leeway. When your lawyer comes in and says, your lawyer can come in and say, but my client, there's no client. Your client sold shares taken short. It's against the law to do it. What's his name? Savvy Management, Hal Mintz. He created this scheme, a naked short selling scheme. That was in the SEC complaint. A scheme. And they sanctioned him. That was it. He should be in jail. It's a scheme. It's a short selling scheme. These guys, they should be shut down. That's the rules. It's pretty easy. You break this law, you break this law, this is how you get sanctioned, this is how you get fined. We want to see your banker records, we want to see everything you do, your wires, where does the money go? How did Hal Mintz buy a $10 million condo, right, in Fisher Island?
How did he create?
To call the SEC today, and they're telling them, hey, I want to make it short. I want to own a condo in Fisher Island. What do I have to steal also?
How did Hal Mintz do this at age 23?
Right. A fat bastard is eating his way through the money. That's what he's doing.
One guy's pointing out that the drug cartel, El Chapo, they got support from the Mexican government until they didn't anymore, and maybe that'll happen here. Pharaoh Nguyen keeps asking, you've mentioned this multi-billionaire fund starting a position. Is it a sign that it's over for Finger? He keeps asking variations on that question. So I'd like to...
You keep changing the question every day. I don't speak to the gentleman. It's the shareholders, like people on this phone that knew him, told him about Finger Motion. And yesterday on our call, we were driving, and what did Robin say? His friend initiated a position, right?
Yeah.
So when you initiate a position means that real people, money people on Wall Street, don't buy stocks because someone just pitched them and told them to buy it. They take a few minutes, they study it, give me some information, and then they jump in. And if the stock cooperates and does what they like to see, they keep adding to it. Like I said, you could have bought 100,000, and then he buys 100 a day. You can buy 50,000 and buys 50 a day. But that's how big players get into stocks. They just don't jump in with both feet and they go to the beach. They don't do that. We do that because we're all idiots.
Idiots.
That's what we are. Just
It's
think
for
about
you.
that. We do it because we're all too lazy. I'm with you. Hey, I want to buy 5,000 shares. Buy my 5,000 shares. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to the beach. Only if it works. That's what we do.
That's what I want to do, go to the beach.
I'm trying to teach you that the best way to do it is to you buy a little at a time, accumulate at different prices. Right? Don't become that person and you say, I bought the stock at $8 and drifted down, and I have no more money to buy anymore. That's why you average price in. That's what you do. And you average price out when it goes. It's the same thing. So we've been sitting here for 30, 40 minutes, and the stock is doing zero. Somebody somewhere has been served a subpoena, some back office, something has changed, all right? And this game is coming to a head soon. That's what I see. And it's super obvious. And then the next question is going to be, well, why didn't you hang up the phone and get your friends and jam it? That's not my job. I could care less. You don't want to own it? Don't own it. Do your own research. I can't listen, lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink it. Right?
Yeah.
So again, I on the way home yesterday, I was in the car 2 hours. After the conference call, I spoke to 15 different people, and they asked the questions. I gave them the answers, and they didn't sit there and tell me how many shares should I buy. I don't say that. That's not my business. That's your business. You make your determination. Once you hit the button, it's your problem. You determine it. You call me, you ask the questions, you make that determination. I'm only giving you the information that we see in real time that we've been documented for 3 years. We ask the SEC all the time. We put the truck in front of the SEC. Prove us wrong. If we're wrong about all this information, shut it down. We know we're right. They can't say anything. Go ahead, William. Far away.
Well, Jordan wants to know on Finger, should we be rolling our call options to next month or just buy new call options?
Options, it's Wednesday. You got 7-8 days to go. I'm a option guy. That's an eternity. I can go to the beach and get a tan to come back and still have days to float here. NVIDIA, or look at whatever that TPST. Imagine if that had options in it 3 days ago. I bought the 56 calls, it never moves. And then today, it's a 4 points. That's how these things work. I don't know how things go.
So,
sometimes it's a catalyst, sometimes it's a short seller in a panic. You hear is a short seller in a panic, where you hear the rumblings of it, somebody's in a panic, but not making it up.
well, I don't know. Somebody's quoting Daniel Borders, but I think your information is.
Well, listen, everybody has different things, so what can I tell you?
What questions were asked to you that we're not asking on your calls with the big fish? Oh, one guy's asking what your big meetings, basically, what are the big shareholders asking you that we don't ask you? That's
The big shareholders is selling all the stock, so we're sitting here. That's a big shareholder selling 1,900 shares at 575. The big shareholders are rolling. The big shareholders are getting the calls that someone wants to buy their stock. That's what the big shareholders get. The big shareholders have bought a ton of stock.
and somebody bought a lot of the $15 calls.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
Somebody just said that it's 16,500 open interest.
I'm a firm believer, as you buy them, as it goes up, take your profit and you buy those specific calls and you forget about it. You don't have to worry about it. It's basically a home run or a zero, right?
Right.
That's how I look at it. You know, look at TPST. It was a zero yesterday. Today it's a home run.
Right.
Yeah, think about that. That's the stock that went from $24. You know, to add zeros on it to $400 overnight. No, one day. That's how big a move 24 cents is to force something. But with a company that's got great data on cancer, I mean, that's just $40 that stock. If they got good news, they should be able to do what? Be able to raise money, hire more labs, more doctors to help get that to the marketplace to save someone's life. Look at that poor girl, Mary Lou. Right? She's dying from some rare infection, and I forget what it is, in the lungs or something bad.
That's terrible.
You want to be that person? No. You want people to be able to survive. The shorts kill companies that help people to stay alive. I have nothing to do with any of these biotechs. I don't have the money to invest in all these things. But that's what they do. That's the crime. We're trapping them in finger motion to send a message to the rest of the world. We're coming for them. There you go. That's the game. Once we break them in finger motion, we're going to slaughter them in GTII, and then we're going to go find companies like TPST and save people's lives. That's the way you want to end this game. That's million and I'm rich, I don't give a shit about anybody else. I know people that have cancer. Everybody does. Wouldn't you be proud to say to the gentleman or to the woman, hey, I helped fight to save that company that saved your life or saved your kid's life? Think about that for a second. Stop being a scumbag trying to steal 20 cents so you can have a fucking party. That's what this is about. You don't want to be a part of this, then go fucking someplace else and take your ball and go someplace else. Get out of here. That's what I see going on. And I'm sick of doing it. You think you're sick of doing it? I'm sick of doing it. I would love nothing more to move on to a cancer company and try to figure out and save their asses. That's what I'm trying to do. And don't get me wrong, it's not going to get me a better place in the kingdom when I'm dead. I'm trying to do it to save people's lives. Maybe an old family member. Maybe my own life. I don't know. But if you don't fight and try, then what are you doing it for? You don't want to be part of it? Go someplace else. Take your money and go buy a car, do whatever the hell you want to do. Enjoy your life.
There's 16,655 calls of $15 strike for October.
Just so you understand, this stock with the options and the buying and the stories of the shorts trying to cover call shorts. Let's make believe we hear a brokerage firm. I'm just gonna make their name up. Of all the brokerage firms, I'm just gonna pick a name. Let's say Fidelity. I'm just making that up. calls up a broker at Fidelity. Short calls a broker at Fidelity. Hey, I'm looking to see if any of your holders want to simply have any holders. Fidelity hits a button and says, holy shit, we got some guys with some massive positions. See if they want to sell it. The broker at Fidelity calls the client. Hey, would you like to sell your stock? I'll think about it. That's what sounds like what's going on to me. They didn't ring my fucking phone, but they're ringing somebody else's phones. All right? We're not making it up. People got proof that they got the phone calls. It ain't me. Other people got the calls. So, again, you know what it is. That's the sign that they're dying. What day does it happen? I don't know. But the stock is telling you somebody's dying and they're dying fast. That's it. So you can sit back and watch it. You can sit back and buy it. You can sit back and sell it. You can go on your way. You can do whatever you like. But that's what I see going on. Besides that, there's a movie being filmed. Big Emotion is the top star of the show for one reason. The short sellers showed their cards, put a short and distort story out there that everyone saw with the attack in real time. We had the truck at the we could do a mini series just on the finger motion stock. The attack, premeditated attack to steal investors' money. The investors fought back, took it back up. That fight is in real time, all documented. The truck was at the SEC. The filmmakers saw it. The filmmakers saw the short story. The filmmakers met the attorney that's going to defend and go after the short guy. It's all right there. Boom, 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 boom. It's right there. And that's not 10 years. That's not 10 years. That was 4 fucking days of activity. Anything that's going on that fast tells you someone's in trouble. That's what's going on. And for the stock to go sideways, it's fine with me. It doesn't cost as long to sit here in your stock. The short paying fees has to hide from the regulators, has to hide all these fails to deliver. They have a million problems. They don't know if the FBI is knocking on their door tomorrow. They have no idea. DOJ, anybody's after these characters. They're going to jail. And they have to look at each other and say, okay, who's going to rat me out? If you're the leader, the Creamers or Lynn Partners, and you're the leader of the crime family, you have to look at all the people that work for you, worrying if anyone has been contacted by the police. And if anyone in your organization is giving you up, look about the things they have to worry about. Andrew left. I live in fear of the DOJ.
Right.
That's what the shorts are worrying about now. It wasn't like that before, but it's definitely there now.
We're gonna have to. I'm gonna in the future. I'm gonna have you call in like you do for not legal advice. It'll be a better sound control.
Oh, whatever I'm saying is nonsense. I say the same shit every day.
That's for sure. Talk about the same pattern.
It's the same. I'm the same pattern, just like they are the same pattern. I'm only going one way. I told everybody a long time ago, we burned our boats. We're not going back. We're not leaving. We're going to catch both parties. Okay, we got them trapped like rats. They jumped into the rat traps themselves. Alpine, the Kramers, the same patterns. They think they got away. They're not getting away. All those shares that they sold, they're all exhibits. They're not going to go away. They don't cover anything. That's the crime. Listen, if I was short Sugar Motion at $7 or $8, why would I buy some back to get below $6, right?
Yeah.
Because once they start buying, the stock will just gain momentum and run themselves over. They can't.
Well, and that was obvious last week when they did the illegal hit and run.
Right. So all the little bandits came in. They hired. It's like they hired a bunch of mercenaries. You know, Timothy Sykes brings in 30 guys. Everybody's selling 20, 30,000 shares to the market as fast as they can. The stock collapses. The short, the naked short, the real short lays into it. Any buying that came in trying to hold it down, and it didn't work. All the little creeps stole everybody's money and walked away, and they think they get away with it. And I always say, on those bear raid days, just follow the sell tickets. You'll see who's tied together. They always do the same thing. You could probably see the same names, the same attacks around the board. They all work together. So all the bandits are gone. So it's now all the laws of freedom motion against Lynn Partner and their friends. All their friends that helped them are gone. Now we're looking at each other standing here. Why isn't the stock going? It goes when it goes. It's loaded to go. This thing is a rocket ready to go. Is it the fundamentals? Is that going to make it go? When are they due? Tomorrow? Friday?
Well, a couple of people are saying the earnings might come out before the market open tomorrow.
All right, so we're tomorrow's.
And that would match if you strictly went 90 days from the last reporting. That would match it. So it's possible.
So we're within days of the earnings coming out, whatever day it may be, right?
Right.
I'm not sure, but it's coming. The shorts obviously nervous about it. They're selling it down is basically stopped.
Right.
Right? You can see it. I'm not making it up. I'm actually falling asleep looking at it.
I'm falling asleep listening to you.
You rat bastard. So listen, everybody, at night at 10 o'clock, William makes me call him up. He puts you on the speakerphone to tell him something, to tell him the story. And then I hear him snort.
It's front.
Fire out whatever questions you have. It's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go out and play pickleball at 2 o'clock and get the hell away.
I think for those who are trading call options, it might be a little bit more urgent. But I think for the rest, we just have to, just like you're saying, the setup's there. Go enjoy the day. I think it's going to happen. Maybe it's not by next Friday. Maybe it's November, but it's going to happen.
Listen, just look at the stock, and you decide yourself. All things being equal, what side do you want to be on? That's it. You have to say. If you believe that the short is here, then you join the long.
What's the real short? What's the real short in finger?
They say it's 3 million now.
Wow. What if they just covered that without being able to sell?
So they had to cover 3 million today.
Yeah.
Trade 261,000. 3 million and no selling. Where do you think it's going to
$25.
It can be anywhere. That's how it works. Hold on, just give me 1 second. Hold on a second.
Wow. So,
Give me 1 second. My grandson just came off the house.
TPST is trading for the same price as Finger. No. Sorry, it's $1 less, but it's trading for $4.90 right now.
Where is it right now?
$4.90 TPST. That's up from 24 cents.
It's 509.
509. So that's kind of a short squeeze, isn't it?
Well,
It looks like one.
Yeah, well, look at that. There you go. Now the people are flipping 100,000 shares of the Clipper stock now.
Let's start recommending it and see what happens. The shorts will attack it because they're listening. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Listen, I hope it goes to the moon. But if anybody's out there selling that stock, they're only selling it because the company's been approached to give them money. And I'm sure, keep an eye on it, everybody, because the pattern is a company with 24 cents is probably starving for money, correct? William?
They'll do a financing through a front, and it'll go cover the shorts, and they'll take the money of people fearing missing out right now.
They're going to do a deal today.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, you're going to raise them money, $30-40 million. They'll do it half of the price.
It'll be around $2.90, $3, yeah. And then it'll collapse. It'll go to.
They're going to give a zillion warrants on top of it.
Yeah. And they'll say it's above market warrants.
Right. And that's what they're going to do.
And guess who will be over at the glass building not doing anything? Do you think people working in glass windows should throw the first stone? No, I guess it doesn't work.
I spoke with 12 people yesterday. I have photos of the SEC, the truck in front of the SEC. And I said, listen, forget all the nonsense. Forget all the stuff. If someone's reporting a crime, standing in front of this glass building, telling the regulators, here's the crime, help us out, and they do nothing, to me, that's the most amazing thing about this whole thing. The regulators, this is what changed the game. The regulators want you to call up, and we did it, William. They want us to call up and register complaints as a whistleblower, correct?
They just want to buy time so that you forget about it.
Listen to what I'm saying. We call up where the SEC will listen to your whistleblower complaints.
Right.
As investors, we have no idea how many people called, what the feedback has been from the SEC. Nothing. We know nothing about it, right?
Right.
We all know individually. You know, my friends will call up. I called twice today. I called yesterday. Everyone says that. Okay, I add them up, and they say, okay, it's 500 people this week that called.
Right.
There's no proof for that. We get no proof for that.
There's never proof, so that people who apologize for you can't prove it. You can't prove it.
Right. But
where's
the truck is the proof that they cannot hide behind. The truck was there. The proof was there. We knocked on your door. We called out the criminals. We did it all for you. Very different. Now they can't say, well, no one ever told us. Really? Here's the truck. Very different.
Here you go, Ham. Some guy named Ned Stark just posted on Twitter that Finger earnings would be released tomorrow.
very much so.
We all know Ned Stark. He's a good guy.
They chopped Ned Stark's head off in Game of Thrones.
I thought Ned Stark was Iron Man.
No, he was from Game of Thrones. I think they chopped his head off, I think, in the beginning.
Oh, I'm totally out of superhero dumb.
It's an HBO show. But, so again, the earnings come when they come. You know, again, listen, the earnings come out and they're earth-shattering, like a TTS.
They're still gonna, the shorts are still gonna say something. Even if the revenues come in at 15 million, they're gonna say, oh, it doesn't have a clear path to profitability. Oh, they misspelled their name. Oh, it's
Amazon, for everyone here, how many years did Amazon lose money?
how many years did Finger lose money? I mean, Facebook.
Buying stuff for $1 and selling it to you at 80 cents. If you started a business and did that, I went to you and I said I want to start a business and I'm going to lose 50 cents for every order we get. People would hang up on you. No one will give you money. But I think it was Credit Suisse was behind Amazon. I can't remember. I think it was. Because I remember saying it. How the hell do you guys losing money and getting away with it and people support it? Because most people can never get to that point, right? Because look at finger motion. There's no signs of profitability. They did the same thing in Facebook. Guys, I'm going to give you a story about Facebook. You ready? I'll do it quick. Facebook went public, I think it's $40.
I think it was 38. I think it was 38.
So it went public right around that. They destroyed it to $18 within this first 6 months.
Yeah.
And I wrote an email to Zuckerberg and I sent it to him. They were shorting it down because they wanted to get the insiders to sell. When they sold their first tranche of stock was in 6 months. And they took them out at $18. And the whole way down, they said the company has no way of earning money with all those people. They took them out at $18. And then the story changed that it was the greatest company in the world and the stock went straight up. So the shorts shorted the IPO, bought it back on the first tranche of selling by the insiders, and then drove it to the moon once they were long.
That's all legal. That's not manipulation.
And that was a fact. I wrote that story to Zuckerberg. I showed him the proof, everything about it. And, you know, he never got back to me.
It's all okay. It's all right. It's all, if it helps Goldman Sachs, it's okay.
That's what it did. It hurt the people that worked at Facebook in the beginning, waited years to go public to make a sale. And if you were one of the individuals that said, oh my God, you know, I got 1 million shares in this stock, I can make my first sale at $18, I can sell 30% of it, 300,000 shares. Just in this hand, I can change, I can buy a house, I can do this, I can put my kids in college, I gotta make a sale, and the stock is falling every day. You sell it at 18, and then all of a sudden, the stock turns and it's the best stock in the world and it goes to 200. Once they were long.
The banks are just there to help you. Gary Gensler's just there to help you.
And that was what I reported to you was real time. I wrote the story, and that was a fact.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing.
It's depressing.
And Donald Trump's casino, DJT.
It's depressing.
His stock was on Rake's show. They destroyed the casino. Now, was the casino made? I don't know anything about the casino and how they make money. I don't know nothing about these companies. But it was on Rake's show, reported it to him. At the time, he wasn't president. He wasn't running for any political office. And they shorted it straight down to zero. And what did they do? They blamed him. It's a failed business. Not that anybody was selling it, pushing it off a cliff. No one ever said that. That's a fact.
Well, you know what? It can happen to Goldman Sachs. Believe it or not, they can attack a bank too. But
well, they did. They attacked the banks.
They attacked Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers.
Anyone here, you think Goldman Sachs doesn't make it short? Do a Google search. WAMU, WAMU. WAMU. they get shorted by Goldman. Go look at it. They put Washington Mutual to zero. Everyone in the Seattle area, Washington, up that area, got wiped out. Wahoo. Wiped out.
But if Goldman naked shorts, it must be okay.
Yeah. They had the inside scoop, I guess, on the bank, and they destroyed it. So, William, we're on this call for over an hour.
Yeah.
The stock is traded maybe 20,000 shares if we're lucky.
Yeah, somebody said 4,000 shares in the last 30 minutes, and it's up 10 cents on just 4,000 shares.
So again, no selling. Someone posted this morning. Let's see if I can find it. Give me a second.
This is what I live for.
SRSC2 was it Sears goes nuclear on 108 shares. Goes from $0 to $1.90. A 70,000% increase on 108 shares. And I said, all that huge volume is tied to the growth. Stop them selling, and this is what happens. When there's no selling, and you buy 108 shares, you may have to pay up $5 for it, right?
Right.
So when people say, where's the volume? If they stop selling, there is no volume.
Right. If they thought they could win, they'd let it go up.
You got it. They can't win. That's why they push it down. I say the same stupid thing for 20 years.
It's going to be on my gravestone. If they thought they could win, they'd let me live.
Listen, when I pass, I want everybody to come to my wake, and I want you to throw a flaming arrow into my chest. You can shoot it into me and spirit into me. All right?
No,
But again, this is a criminal organization. They're fractions. It's not like it's one kingpin. The kingpin is Citadel, but Citadel is not in Finger Motion.
This is just an easy way for these guys to make money, and it's nearly riskless. The only risk they didn't count on was HAM. And they just have expanded it because it's easy. They can do it monthly, they can do it weekly, they can do it every year. And it's depressing because it's hundreds of billions of dollars, it's trillions, but it's just an easy way of making money. And they don't have to be geniuses because they're not. These aren't guys that went to Harvard to study, well, some maybe, but mostly they didn't get straight A's in high school. Well, that's because you were out playing tennis. Oh, Lord. People used to copy my test score, my test.
That's what I like. So I was when I went to school, I never really applied myself. When I went to Wall Street, my older brother was an option expert, and he started drilling me on symbols. I had to know every symbol of every public company.
I used to know every symbol, well, not everyone, but you could, imagine, Ham, when you're in your 20s, my brain was so full of information that was useless anywhere else in the world. Symbols, names of clients, how many shares they had, phone numbers. It's all useless. I could have had a PhD in accounts of Merrill Lynch. It's totally worthless.
I had to learn the symbols, because I worked on the curve, I worked on the exchange, I worked as a clerk. I had to learn the symbols. I had to learn all the fractions.
Oh, yeah.
To do things in fractions.
Yeah.
Three TDs, a quarter, 5 TDs, 3 eighths. I had to know 3.75. I had to know the numbers, everything about them. And I had to know it like lightning. I didn't have time to go look at a chart.
That's right. And you had
And
to
this
have.
is how you figure it out. But listen, I can't say it enough. To me, this has been showtime for 2 weeks. I can't tell if it's going to start from 7 or 5. Where it's going to start, it's going to start. And when it goes, it's not going to stop. Someone has been served. The shorts have been calling around trying to cover stock. That's what I see going on. The law firm is going after the short firm. When they get those guys, they will give up the person who funded and paid for the report. There's many different things that can happen that can expose this fraud.
So we have a critical question here. When you go out to play pickleball, do you wear white socks up to your knees and a headband? You look like a geek. You look like who married Woody Allen?
I don't know if I told you yesterday, I played pickleball the other night with a gentleman from the Bronx, real tough guy. And we played together, but then we broke apart, and I played against him. I hit a ball so hard that it actually cut his fingers.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you did it again. I think you need to go seek help.
Both on the court with me, and I didn't know the first guy got cut. He never said it to me. And then the other guy suggested he drew blood. The guy goes, he got me the day before.
I think you need help with your issues.
Right. So one guy said that. Next month he got anger issues. I said, really?
Frustration issues.
Well, that's what makes me relaxes me. I'm very good. I can swing the ball super hard. I wish I was 20 years old because I'd be destructive if I was 20. So I don't even know how hard I can't believe I can still hit it this hard. People can't believe that I can just this swing is like it's like I'm not even swinging. I can swing so hard.
But you can't bend your knees.
No, my knees are fine now. I got those 2 shots. I got the gel shots. I got the cortisone shots. And, I'm ready to go all day long. I'm going to get the most out of them.
Well, the thing is, when you're doing that, you can keep score, you can have results. When we do this, it's just endless. The selling is endless, the fraud is endless, and the SEC does nothing.
Well, I can tell you this. You can say all that about this, but in Finger Motion, it's a life-changing event, and you're part of it. And I truly believe in it. You don't have to believe me. I believe in my heart that this is a life-changing event. We documented it, put the truck out there, we put our money where our mouth is, we hired lawyers, we did everything we possibly can. Now, the regulators or the enforcement agencies, the DOJ, the FBI, who were after the shorts, okay? The best thing they did get there was the distort that showed that they're in a panic and they're trying to run interference to someone trying to cover. They tried that and it didn't work. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure people got sold out. Okay, but again, this is a life-changing event. When it goes, it's not going to stop. And our day's coming. And if you can't afford it, don't listen to me. Breaking even on a trade and losing a few dollars, that's what Wall Street, you can always do that. If you're nervous, I don't want to hear people saying, I can't eat dinner tonight because I bet it all on Finger Motion or GII. All right? I promise you, when whatever one goes, we'll go get the other one. I'm loyal to the people that we've been fighting the battles with, trying to expose this crime. I'm here to the end in both of these things. That I promise you. After that, where we go, who the hell knows? Spin the wheel.
So Rosenberg is setting himself up for a blast.
That guy. Of all the people that want to disappear, that rat bastard won't go away.
He said the SEC officials basically told him he's an idiot.
I say the same thing. Listen,
I knew you'd say that.
Wonderful guy, smart. He's a military guy. he was in my platoon, I told you, every day I would send him out in time to immediate leave. 10 year rhythm. But he's such an animal, he would always come back. And to me, those are the people that you want on your team. This guy is loyal. My good friend who passed away.
He seems like he's principled.
Oh, he's the type of guy, he's a dog. He will dig and dig until he gets the information. You send him out, he comes back, always with some information. Always. And I think he was a Merrill Lynch guy, I can't remember.
Well, it says Shearson Lehman. Maybe he was.
Yeah, whatever he did, whatever, I forgot what it was. I think they caught him stealing the sugar cube at the coffee stand at Merrill Lynch, and they kicked him out. I can't remember what it was.
When finger runs, would we see percentage movements like TPST?
Yes.
It's 595.
It's going to be 3 times faster than TPST.
And
The only big difference between TPST and finger is there's no secondary coming in your face like you're going to see in
absolutely, the shorts will make.
There'll be no one standing in your way.
That's right. They're gonna kneecap this rally, and people. Anyway, do you think MMTLP will be settled this year?
I have no idea. Never heard of this song.
Can you stay on the call until we go to $10 a share?
No, absolutely not. I'm starting to look like Larry from the Three Stooges of pulling out whatever has left on my head. Listen, this is a disgusting crime, a waste of your time, a waste of my time, a waste of the SEC letting 4 people invest money in options and letting these guys try to manipulate it to steal your money. Think about, everyone's in there, well, the options. The SEC is letting these guys manipulate the stock to control the options. Think about that. Once they stop, look how easy the stock goes up with nothing going on, right? Nothing trading.
So you think they'll be controlling the options this next week? I mean, I guess so. I guess so.
Well, they have been, right?
Right.
They've been trying to do that, and they're probably sitting there saying, "These crazy bastards keep coming back."
Who are those guys?
And eventually, the walls are going to tumble down here. So, listen again. The only way out is up. If they want to sell it down, they're selling to get less money. If they thought they could win, they let the stock go higher. If I was to short, I would have the stock at $1 by now. And then when everybody's buying in, I slaughter it back down. Why don't they? I'm telling them, if they're on my call, take it up. People will sell when the stock goes up. People will buy when you push the stock down. That's how it's.
Have you heard anything more about that trade above market, or that's probably not happening?
I could get off the phone and make a call, but I've been on the phone with you, so I have not made any calls. I've been here with you.
That might not be. Maybe that's not happening, but that would be a good sign if it did, or didn't, or didn't.
When there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
I made those calls.
Right.
You guys don't know how it works. You get a short seller or an investor along who wants to sell his position. We have to find a buyer for it. That's how it works. When I'm a buyer and I need to find a seller, you call up and see who wants to sell it. Those are pre-arranged trades. That means we're working on a trade, put the two parties together. If I can get the buyer and the seller to both give me the order, that means I make commission, William, on both sides of the transaction.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
I am a major winner if I can do that. So let's say maybe a firm like Fidelity, I'm just using their name. I'm not saying it's Fidelity, I'm just using their name. If Fidelity is calling up clients because they have a buyer for a big position of stock, that broker at Fidelity is drooling because he can find a seller at Fidelity side of Fidelity, he can get both sides and get a commission for himself in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
That's what Wall Street is about at an institutional level. That's what they do. Sometimes the trade happens in a second. Sometimes both parties have to think about it. That's how it works. It doesn't happen every time. They can say, hey, I'd like to buy 20 million shares from you. And you sit there and say, you know what, let me figure out a price and I'll get back to you. Or you can say, how about if I sell it at 13 to you, and then buyer comes back and says, let me see if my client wants to pay 13. Right? So that's how a negotiated trade goes off.
If finger runs to 30, will the shorts bring it back to 5?
If the stock's running into 30, it's running into 300. If it's running into 300, it's running into 3,000. If it's short, whoever just asked that question.
He's a long-time lister. He's in his picture.
I'm not listening again. Listen, please. When you sit here talking to yourself all day, you make mistakes, right? We all do it. Will the shorts, if the stock runs to 30, will the shorts bring it back down? Well, if the shorts thought they could make a lot of money letting it go to 30, why isn't it there yet? Right? Why are they fighting so hard to hold it below 6 or 7? Hold it down. Because they can't let it go to 30 because they don't have the money to maintain the margin. So that question that you're saying to me is impossible because they can't hold it down. Once it goes, once they break, their prime broker, whoever's in charge of their account is going to say one thing: buy back the stock or put up $100 million in 1 minute. They don't have the money, so the prime broker, Jeffries, will just say, buy the stock. Don't call me back until you bought every share back. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
This guy doesn't know Red Hook Texan. He's like, it looks like he's lounging on a hammock while he's asking questions. He just told you that you made a good point. And
All right, I don't know what it is.
I'm going to have you, next time you call in, I'm going to.
Earth-shattering because I haven't said anything different in 2 years.
Yeah.
What's the good point?
I don't know what the good point was, but.
The stock goes to, I told you, until the stock finds new short sellers, there'll be no resistance. If the stock goes up and we run into new short sellers, then the game changes. But I don't think anyone's going to stand in front of this freight train because everyone on the street is hearing the story. And you say, how is that possible? Everyone on Wall Street is hearing that this guy's short the stock. All right? How is that possible? Well, let's say there's a guy who's got a very big mouth that knows of many brokers at this firm or that firm, this firm, and they start buying the stock. Those people tell their clients, those people tell their friends, and that's how the street knows about it. And that's how Robin yesterday called in and said his client is buying the stock. All right? And he's a bigger client. So that's what happens. And
Right.
This is how the word gets around. It's like the Pearl commercial. One person tells another person.
Yeah. Well, I know this call has changed my life.
You just lost an hour of your life. You're never going to get back again.
You know when it's going to go when we stop watching.
It's candid camera. When you least expect it, you're going to say, smile, you're on candid camera. That's how it goes. I told you, I was in a stock one time. I went to get 2 hot dogs. The stock went up $11. I didn't have a good till cancel order in there. I missed the whole trade. I waited every day for it. I went out for 5 minutes to get a hot dog, and I lost them. So, I mean, that's what happens. and it happens to everybody. And that's why I always tell you, if you're going out, put a GTC order in, don't miss it, you know, and that's what happens. So the stock is just going up. Now the stock is back. It's in cha-cha back and forth. So obviously they're still alive, playing games back and forth here a little bit. But again, we've been on it for an hour and a half, and to me, this is a non-event. What's going on? I don't know what they're trying to prove, selling back and forth. What they could be doing, selling stock back and forth here, is they could be selling washing trades to repay some of the stock that they're borrowing. So they create some new stock, and they, for example,
They could be helping the real short.
Oh, let's say you borrowed 1 million shares. You could go on the bid and have them take it shorted to you. And then you go back and say, oh, I just bought 5,000 shares, I'd like to return it. Right? That's how they do it. Then they go back on the offer side and start over again.
Yeah.
It's just until the plug gets pulled and someone gets pulled out by the hair, which I believe is going to happen, this is what you have to watch. So everyone, we've been on the phone for an hour and a half. The stock's been up and down 15 cents. Who gives a shit? Nobody. If you want to get out because you can't afford it, this is not diamond hands. This is lockdown securities. You can't call the SEC up and say, that hand, they maybe hold on to it. Sell it whatever you like. We don't care. Buy it, sell it. That's your business. You know, it's like watching a documentary about anything that's in your life. You know, what you see in the documentary, you make your decisions if you're going to take your life accordingly. That's how it goes. And again, if you're sitting around, you're better off getting off the phone, go watch The Big Short, and get back to me. Just replace The Big Short instead of bonds, do it with the stock market. And every time, anything they say is exactly what's going on here. The regulators, the reporters, everything is fraudulent. Everything. And in the end, every bank and everybody else collapsed. And billions upon billions, I think it was trillions. They said trillions of dollars of pension money was wiped out. 6 million people lost their homes. That's because of the Wall Street. And they said only one person went to jail was some guy who was hiding a trade at a Credit Suisse. He was hiding a trade. He was losing money in his trade, so he hid his trade. That's what's going on here. These guys are hiding their trades. People that hide their trades, they go to jail. All right, William, this is like a death march here.
I know I think we just have to, my guess is for those people.
You're sitting home, you got nothing to do. The Big Short, put it on, start watching it. And just remember, whatever they talk about, just switch it to stocks. Just say, okay, it's not bonds, it's stocks. They bet against the bond market, all the mortgages, they bet against it. That's what the bar guys are doing. They're doing it to stocks. We're going long, they're going short. Instead of us being short like they did, we're going long. They're doing the opposite.
You sound like Michelle Obama. When they go short, we go long.
Those people, the buffoons in D.C., letting these poor Israelis killing babies. That whatever her name, Rashida, whatever her name is from Minnesota. She's a disgrace. Throw them out of the Capitol. Those people. Disgrace. Can't even piss on those animals killing babies. What are you kidding me? Disgrace. The Israelis wipe out that whole area and get rid of these people. It's enough. The world is crazy enough for them people like
A
that.
baby is a baby, whatever.
It bothers me. Listen, I'm not a violent person, but again, this is a disgrace. And this country needs to stand up and end it already.
Yeah.
The Israelis at least fight back and say, screw you, we're going to wipe out.
We don't want babies killed on either side.
Again, I stand with the Israelis. I grew up with a lot of Jewish friends, and they're good people. They don't start trouble. They're sitting here and they're trying to wipe them off the planet. And I stand with them. So,
Well, I'm not arguing one way or the other on that. I'm just saying I
I
don't like that babies are being killed on either side.
We wouldn't be talking about it. We wouldn't be talking about it.
Yeah.
So, again, when you do things like that, there's payback. Short sellers is trying to steal our money, there's payback, right? The payback is they go to jail and they're going to be broke. And if Jeffries wants to be dragged down with it for representing and protecting the criminals, I hope they go to zero also. That's what I hope.
Everyone, don't get overly excited about finger motion earnings. The shorts, it'll be the same pattern. They'll come out and they'll hill it. They'll start selling. They want you to think as soon as it's announced that it's bad earnings, and they'll just drive it down, and Gary Gensler will do nothing.
I just hit up the New York Post. If you thought I was angry before, you're going to get sick now. I'm sick.
What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all the death and destruction.
You make your own determination. Scumbag group, whatever her name is, unbelievable.
It's amazing for the high technology that there's a failure of surveillance or intelligence. It's pretty bad.
I just put a thing up, and everybody in this phone calls, if you're on Twitter, go look at the New York Post right now, and you get yourself nauseous. I mean, just disgrace.
It's horrible. I can only imagine.
Anyway, listen, I'm sick thinking about it, and everyone has children, and it's just unbelievable. And just think, I look at Lit Partners and what they did to these poor kids. I mean, Lit Partners is trying to do to your kids. That's how I feel about it. It's not as disgusting as that, but that's what they want to do to your family. That's what it is. The Kramers, Lit Partners, Savvy, that's what these people are. They're disgusting animals. Anyway, I had enough. I'll speak to you guys later. Have a great day.
All right. Thank you, Ham. I'm going to go to lunch, but we can finish up here. I tried to start this whole thing with a recap of Nextbridge, solely to put some information into the record, our record, maybe to help me as well. But then I want to get some people online so that you start realizing that some really serious people believe that there's a lot of value in the Oro Grande project. In terms of this, in this Middle Eastern war, I don't really want to comment on it because it's just awful. It's just awful. I will say that I think because of what's happening now and what's coming, I think the war is going to expand. I think it's going to spread. And maybe not initially, but I think the war is going to ensnare other countries. And for the dollar and the New York banks, U.S. banks, maybe London banks, that's going to be a lot of liquidity that's going to be created that is going to, on the financial side, rescue the markets in the short run. But I think for the price of oil, for our way of life, if you want to call it that, and our way of life isn't just North America, it's Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, China, Middle East. Oil prices at sustained high levels is going to really rock our world. And anyway, let's see. No, they won't be able to naked short it. But it's a test, you know, it's a trap to see what, and my own opinion at reading everything, Fidelity has decided they don't want to join in on the fraud. So they're coming up with different methods maybe to delay. Time is always on the side of the shorts. All right, see you later. Okay, and just in terms of finger, just to finish that up, the catalyst will be Univest buy-ins, which won't happen at these levels. I don't know. I don't know how Univest operates. I think Univest or somebody close to the situation has been accumulating the stock at these levels. So I guess your point is the catalyst is a different thing than accumulation. I don't know that there's going to be a catalyst that scares the shorts because they sell without any fear. The SEC simply does not investigate any transactions which help banks like Goldman Sachs. They don't investigate them. Somehow they got onto Savvy, and if you read the filing, it shows that the SEC understands exactly what happens, but they don't. They don't. They let, in the case of Finger, there's apologists out there that'll say, "Oh, these are real shares. These are good clients." They, of course, the prime broker lets their client sell stock without locating it. And maybe they're shorting during the day, but they cover it by the end of the day. Maybe they're shorting but they cover it by the time it's due. And that's not in the numbers. It's all illegal. It's all illegal. And it makes a lie of Gary Gensler's assertions before Congress that the SEC cares about having a level playing field. Gary Gensler does not care about a level playing field in the over-the-counter markets because, in my judgment, he doesn't care about the over-the-counter markets. Tim, Egypt and Wall Street said, I don't know. I think that either the United States and Israel, for that matter, have paid money for the best intelligence in the world, or we've wasted that money. I mean, I always thought that about 9/11, and I don't want to go into that discussion, but for the billions and hundreds of billions that we spend on intelligence, I guess we couldn't help the human analysis of it, I guess. But I understand that the electronic surveillance around Gaza is so powerful that if my dog crossed the fence, they would pick it up and might get him. So I don't. Anyway, I don't want to speculate, but it's either a major failure in intelligence or something else. But there's no question. It's just horrible to watch. I don't think slaughtering human beings is the answer. Unfortunately, I don't think it's the answer on both sides. And it doesn't matter what I think, but in terms of projecting what could come for the markets, I think uh, once men see their children killed, see their sisters uh, dismembered or killed, or worse, in terms of other violations, see their mothers destroyed. We won't worry about men because in the modern world, men are here to protect women and children. Don't worry about protecting men. But when men see that, they get angry. And I don't know that this is going to be contained. And I hate talking that way because we're talking about human beings. But I think uh, I've got to be careful expressing myself. What's this? They may be acquiring, but the big move to build capital. Yeah, I agree with that. I think, and it's in the press release that Finger put out. I don't look. It's possible they could raise 25 million at $5 or $6 or $7 a share. That's one strategy. We can't say that's uh, out of the ordinary. But they put out a press release and it said they don't intend to. Finger did. So my guess is Roger. Um, my guess is that you're absolutely correct. They're going to let the stock, they're going to raise capital at higher levels and maybe considerably higher. We'll find out. What's for lunch? I don't know. I think I'm going to go. I'm debating. I think I'm just going to walk over. I might get a shawarma sandwich or a I don't know, maybe a burger or something. I don't know, something fast that it won't be healthy. I'm sure. Um, having him call in. Yeah, Charlie Mack. I want to learn how to put the image up, and I think it'd be better for sound. I think it'd be better for him too. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm learning, as you can tell. I wish I could do a split screen so I show you a news release and you can read it clearly, and I can be over here so that uh, when Kristen Shaughnessy makes her brief snippets, I'll be in it. No, I just so that it's more interesting instead of just a piece of paper. No, no one likes to go see a presentation and have someone just read what they can read anyway. I disagree about finger motion earnings. The earnings do matter and likely will be a catalyst to the upside. Well, I hope you're right, optics matter. I really do. I expect earnings to be extraordinarily powerful. If I had to pick a number, and don't hold me to it because I have no inside information, but I bet their revenues could be 15 million this quarter, and that would just be huge. I also expect that they could be earnings positive. They could be actually making earnings, which would put a lie to Michael Dion's path to profitability. It put a lie to Crappy Barra's crap. But what I don't agree with you, Optic Matter, is initially they will come out all guns blazing to drive the stock down so that you, me, others think, oh, that must be bad earnings. But just remember, they didn't read them. They must have, they either have, you remember Evelyn Wood speed reading? I used to read like this, but now I read like this, and I can read anyway. They must have speed readers, or they don't read it anyway. They're going to want to try to convince. I agree with you. Earnings do matter, but to the shorts, they're going to try to sell it to convince you that the earnings are bad, and they'll try to drop the price. But here's what I think optics matter. I believe Finger Motion's attorneys and Univest's attorneys are some of the slowest, most cautious, cover your ass attorneys in the world. And the benefit is that Finger Motion has built a great company by always doing the right thing, always following requirements, always following the rules. And I think Univest has done that too. So they listen to their attorneys. And so what I think will happen by the earnings release, optics matter, regardless of what it says, it'll give permission from Univest's attorneys, Finger Motion's attorneys. This is my own analysis. I haven't heard it anywhere else, and maybe I'm totally wrong. But the attorneys will say, okay, the earnings, the quiet period's over. Whatever you wanted to do, you can do it now. And that'll be good. That'll be, and not only good, it could be absolutely excellent. Well, there you go, optics. There you go. I'm not going to read that out, but you know, they can turn, if they have computers as they're buying, they can turn them on after the earnings come out. In other words, to the extent, remember, longs have to follow the rules. Under Gary Gensler's markets, the criminals, which include, I think, the big banks and the hedge funds, they're able to sell stocks without location. They can collaborate with criminal research organizations. They can racketeer, and Gary Gensler is going to do nothing about it. So they don't have to follow any rules at all. None. And if Gary Gensler does anything, he'll already be gone, and it'll happen in 10 years. What the criminals did last week, and I had an intelligent shareholder call me up and say, that's a good research report. And it was nothing. That was just complete crap. But the SEC is not going to investigate the laws broken last week. They're not going to investigate crappy barrel research. They're not going to investigate the collusion, the spoofing, the cross. They're not going to investigate any of it. They don't care. But it worked. They got the stock from 720 down to 480 in a heartbeat. And what Finger Motion has to do is follow the rules. What Univest has to do is follow the rules. So I don't think the short thesis matters. We get all caught up in the intellectual. They don't care. They're just fighting. But your point, P Money, is exactly right. Not so much that it destroys the short thesis. No one even reads that shit. They just look at the price of the stock. Oh my God, the research report must be good. They didn't even read the report. It's a crap report. And there's no thesis. What the short argued in that report is not even internally consistent. I don't think that it's great earnings. I think it's the fact that the end of the quiet period comes. And so the attorneys at Finger and the attorneys at Univest and elsewhere say, hey, you can trade. You're free to trade. I think that's what will catch out the shorts. Well, one fix-it man. We have lived in a period of Goldilocks, a period where I don't know why we have to fight the Chinese or the Russians. But all of a sudden now, I think it has to do with the weakness we've shown. Um, you know, maybe, maybe it has something to do with which president's in office. Maybe it's other things. But clearly, um, there's behavior going on around the world that implies that the United States is no longer feared at the same level it used to be. And I'm not a warmonger, but this is showing up in our financial markets. If you guys are all so young, I was a kid, but if the Middle East decides to embargo Israel and the United States, this time there's not extra oil around in the world. There's just nothing else to turn on. And even in OPEC, there's not much oil to turn on. The UAE has excess capacity. Iraq probably does, although I don't know that if they can bring it online. Libya might. Nigeria might. The Permian Basin probably does, but is it enough? There's just not a lot of excess capacity. I don't think Saudi Arabia can turn without damaging their formations. That's my opinion. I don't think they can get much. I'm not even sure they can get to 10 million barrels a day again. It's very hard to measure, but I certainly don't believe they can get to 12 million barrels a day. Russia, maybe they can ramp up. But at some point, the gains that were acquired by simply using Western technology on Soviet fields, those gains have been had. And, this time it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's not just inflation. It's going to be availability. It's going to be whether or not you can get food, whether or not you can go to your job. It's going to be scary if it happens. Great earnings but optics, that's a false narrative. They just put that narrative out so they could crime. And so the credulous SEC goes, oh, well, these intelligent men read a report that's crap, and that's why they sold in a fury. They acted like children and panicked out. The SEC is worthless. A capital Finger does not need to raise money here. It wants to raise capital because it can grow more quickly, but they don't need to. The selling had nothing to do with the thesis you're talking about. The panic was the price went down. So great earnings, I just disagree with you. Great earnings is not going to mean anything, except once the quiet period's over, Finger can focus on raising money. Univest can do whatever they want to do to buy, and maybe other people can buy. Once the earnings quiet period is over, they can act on what they think the future holds. And when the stock price goes up, you can say, hey, the earnings were great. I think what's more important is lawyers are saying, don't buy anything. And lawyers are bane to traders' existence. Compliance is saying, don't do anything. This is my opinion, of course. And once earnings come out, compliance can't say don't do anything. There's no quiet period anymore. Somebody's been buying fingers steadily for months. And just as it breaks out, the criminals defraud United States markets, defraud investors. But Gary Gensler could not care less. He says he's going to root out fraud wherever it exists. He should put a comma, except in the case of over-the-counter markets and except in the case of counterfeiting of shares, which helps Goldman Sachs prime brokerage. He should put that in there. Yeah, exactly. The government isn't scared of the crooks, in my opinion. The government is owned by the crooks. Unfortunately, I think the United States of America government is bought and purchased by the banksters. This has happened around the world. It happened in South America, and we thought it would never happen here. Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, even the hedge fund Citadel and SAC. These are not American pools of money. BlackRock, Vanguard, they're not American pools of money. These are their own international ogres, and they don't care, but they're treating the United States as another colony. BlackRock and Vanguard are buying up farmland in the Ukraine while there's blood in the street. Do you think they're doing that for us? No, they're going to run up prices of food. We have allowed the banks to take control of our regulatory system, our government, and our journalism. And we're surprised they're in control. It's a scary situation. And they will steal from us and steal from us and steal from us until we can't accept it any longer. And when it falls apart, they're going to take us to war. And if they don't, if we lose everything, as Gerald Celente says, when people lose everything, they lose it. Our society will break down. The United States of America is no longer what we think it is. Our government is controlled by the banks, by the big pharma, by the big agriculture, by the military industrial complex. Our government is owned in the truest merger of business with government, possibly since another country did it years ago. It's probably the biggest merger of government and propaganda with big business that's ever been seen, and with the banks. But that's where we are. And we don't want to admit it, but that's where we are. Oh, shoot. I wanted Jim Jordan. I wanted Jordan. I didn't want Scalia. I think his health is going to be a problem. Whatever. Scalise. I knew it wasn't right. Scalise. I really wish it had been Jordan. I respect Jordan so much. He works hard. He's honest. You know, if his views maybe are too conservative, I think he's fair. And I also believe that Jordan would have focused on one bill at a time. Scalise, to me, is runs the risk of being a rhino. But I don't know. Maybe he's good. Well, I think, Roger, that Skinny is correct because I bet the caucus chose who's going to win, and they're not gonna have more than one vote. It's going to be one vote. So that disappoints me. Um, this, I think, is true, believe it or not. I think there's a role over eons, literally hundreds of thousands of years. There's a role for the male in human society, and I lived when I was a boy. I lived in the Soviet Union, and I saw what happens to men when women take over in the communist system, in the Soviet system. In their case, they had no choice. The men were killed in World War One. They were killed in World War Two, and maybe they were killed under Stalin's regime. But a lot of positions of authority, from policemen to the guards in the residential compounds and others, were taken by women, which is fine. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that's not okay. But with men, and maybe it's something wrong with these men, I don't know, but it was my theory that these men had no role. They had nothing to look forward to. And they drank and they got drunk, and you'd see it all over. I think it's a mistake to to tell young men anyway that none of the roles that their grandparents, the grandfathers had, are wanted anymore. Okay, so maybe you take those roles away, but what are you replacing it with? Being a simp? I don't think that's the way to go. 50% likes. I feel validated. Yeah, there'll be a hit piece after the earnings, or they'll just start selling. But the best thing, David, is if they put out something on Seeking Alpha, it says that Finger Motion is revenues are up, but their margins are disappointing, and there's no clear path, and it's China. Whatever it is, they'll give it a cover to hit it. Well, I also I also never ask for people to hit it or to subscribe or anything, because when I'm watching videos, that's my least favorite part of any video is, hey, if you're learning something here, hit subscribe, hit alerts, and hit the like button. I hate all that, so I never do it. Make lunch at home. I might. Don't leave. Don't leave. Get a studio software. Yeah, I want to do that, and I want to get a better computer. I'm almost thinking I'll just go buy an Apple computer, even though in November it's going to be upgraded. I think partly this is working, actually. This is an Apple and it's good, but partly it's how, I bought a second monitor. I don't know how to hook it up. Um, uh, it's not. I've got the equipment here. I just don't know how to do it all. But I think the best thing would be a new computer that's updated with the newest Safari software. Univest breaks the shorts for their own benefit. I agree with that, Yaba, but I just am going to repeat myself. I don't think Univest is doing it for us. I don't think they pay attention to us. Um, we heard, particularly from Daniel Borders, who has to go down in the history books with the shepherd who cried wolf. But I think he has access to some of the information that I have. But I think the extrapolation that things are going to move quickly. Finger Motion is run by a talented, smart, deliberate team, and they have built a great company. But 60 days ago, 90 days ago, 30 days ago, just slow. We're just going to move forward. And now I think the observation has been Univested must be ready to go do whatever it is. But the problem is there's an earnings quiet period. And the SEC will go after companies and banks if those companies and banks act within an earnings window without notifying everybody. The SEC will not pursue the $150 million in market value that was knocked off of Finger's market cap last Tuesday by a fraudulent research report by shorts who bragged on Twitter that they had fun at Finger Motion's Long's expense, and the racketeering, the market manipulation, the violation of Reg Show, the violation of U.S. securities laws. Gary Gensler is not going to do anything about it. So they sell without fear, and they destroy 150 million in market cap in 45 minutes, in an hour and a half. And there's nothing legitimate about that. But Finger Motion is not going to commit the same crimes. And my opinion is they have to wait till when earnings are announced, obviously. More than that, why not wait? Why do it today? Wait till Monday, wait till Tuesday. And it's just too bad for October calls. I think October calls are going to get buried. That's just what I think. My phone has a port for a jack. Let me see that. My phone has one of these jack things. And my microphone has the same. Male to male. Male to male for the mic. I like the idea of a speaker. I have one of those Apple things in my living room. I like the idea of hooking ham up to a speaker. I might be able to do that. I'll think about it. I'm just slow motion when it comes to technology. Well, if they could, that's for selling 300 million. What if they just raised 25 million? They could sell 1 million shares at $25. And the thing is, the criminals get you thinking about dilution solely by numbers of shares. But if you could raise money in your example at $50, that's not dilution at all. The stock is trading at $5 right now. That would be accretive to shareholders. Optics matter. This is just my opinion. What people say won't matter. What we say won't matter. You've got the shorts just set their computers on sell. And Gary Gensler isn't going to check it. But if someone at the SEC called one of the shorts, Jeffries, and said, hey, how come you're allowing this attack to happen? Jeffries' compliance would pull out. Well, we have this report from a research firm called Capybara. They just started their website 2 months ago. but we give that the same legitimacy as if the research came out of Goldman Sachs. So the selling's okay. But the buying is going to come from the investment banking and telling the story to institutions and high net worth. And in my judgment, whatever those bankers have heard that's good, they have to wait until the earnings are widely disseminated to the market. And frankly, I've been saying this to skepticism for a couple of weeks. They're not going to do anything today in Finger. There's going to be no upward massive buying today, unless it's from a source we're not talking about. There may not be tomorrow. Why do it today? They'll wait for the earnings, but then it'll be computer against computer. It'll be Godzilla against King Kong, and we'll just be watching. Let me write that down. I like that idea. Bose Sound Lead Mini 2 specialization. I'm gonna write that down and I'll order it today. Oh shoot. Bose Sound Link Mini 2 special edition. I hope it's sold on Amazon because it could come today. I don't know, David. I don't know about that. That'd be great, Matt. I wish one of these deals would happen because I would sink. You know, if I had a hit, I'd sink 10 grand in it. But until then, I've got to do it less expensively. KYP. Scalia did who Repubs want for speaker, beat out Jordan. So I don't know, but it's Scalise, and Jordan's better than Scalise. Hedge funds and market makers can counterfeit the shares. They don't buy shit. Yeah, I bet you can prove it. And sometime hitting, you can come on. If I learn how to have these calls, you can come on and talk to all of us. I believe you. And I'm not trying to say that I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just giving my best judgment. I am open to be informed. And I totally believe that you could educate us. All I need, one fix-it man, just show me how to do it and just make it plug and play, turn it on, hit the button. I think that's right. How old's your grandson? If he's 7, he can beat me at technology. He's going to lose to KYP. Is my snapper broke? On one microphone, if you're talking about the connection, I don't know what a snapper is. Yeah, at least we don't have tweets. It's one thing, we don't have tweets. Ruby, don't take your love to town. Wasn't me who started that old crazy Asian war, which, by the way, was written about Korea, not Vietnam. I just went and did my patriotic chore. If I could move in something, I'd get my gun and put you in the ground. Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. Oh, they don't want Trump. I see. I think Jordan's pretty diplomatic. It's just that Jordan is, if I had to guess, the people that want McCarthy voted for Scalise because Scalise, his health won't hold up. So when he's gone, they'll just put McCarthy back in. And I don't like McCarthy. That would have been fun, Skinny Whale. Yeah, I do have a Bluetooth speaker. It's over there. I guess I could move it in here. I could move it in here. Grow up, Arthur. You'll make a fine adult. Smile, Arthur. Sit up, Arthur. People work here. All right, I've got a. What's this? Buy a Roadicast Pro. What's a Roadicast Pro? All right, let me write that down. Roadicast Pro. Okay. Hey, Jenny, Rebecca. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Okay. I don't know where to find them, but I can look. Oh, Ruby, don't take your love to town. I can't read that out. I can't read that out. Yeah, it's not good. Can't read it. All right, so I guess that's all the questions. Jenny, uh, everybody misses you. Everyone hopes you're well. And everyone knows that you're strong, courageous, formidable, and that everything's going to be all right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so Jenny, I'm going to end it because I have to go get something to eat and run an errand. I don't think I'll come back today, but I might. I really like this idea of ordering the Bose Sound or the Roadicast. So I'll look those up. I might order them today. And I played your nag, nag, nag yesterday. Nag, nag, nag. And I wish I would understand. I wonder if this works. I'm going to see if it does before I go. Let's see if it does. No, I guess it doesn't. Does this play? Is this? I'm going to look it up. See if this plays. I'm going to see if this is playing. It's not playing. It's not playing. I know it's not working. I know it's not working. It says it's sharing, but it's not sharing. It's not sharing. So I'll have to figure that out. I'm learning as I go. I'm learning how to do some of the, I'm testing, experimenting. It's better than reading the instructions. Beats speakers. Maybe I'll go down to the Apple store and buy Beats speakers. Nag, nag, nag. It's Amazon Prime Day. I could buy those. Yeah, that's a good point. Which speaker is on sale right now? Which one? The Bose Sound? All right, I'll go buy it. I'll go buy it. I will go buy it. Thank you, Wilma Stone. No, it's fine. All right, I'm gonna go. I'll go do that. But first, a little chi-chi. So anyway, I'm gonna say I'm gonna please into Sonos. Please into Sonos. It's all these names I don't know. Bose is trash. Well, this other, well, I don't know. Anything's better than I got. Sonos has better speakers. All right, I'll do that. But for now, I'm gonna when the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. Let's keep calm, stick together. Well, sometimes all you can do is be a witness. You can't, unfortunately, and pray, I guess. We can't. JBL speakers. I have some speakers over here. I don't know how to set them up, and maybe I have already. I'll look. Maybe there's a way of setting them up already. You guys are pushing you're really pushing my comfort zone. All right. Thank you, Wilma. Wilma. And I thank everybody for coming on. It's almost 2 o'clock, so I don't have a lot of time to have lunch before I have to walk my dog and all that. So I'm going to go. Wish you all the best. Maybe we'll come on at the end of the day. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. So cheers.